Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am making this video as I cry for help. Help in something that there's all the information in the world about it, but I just have no goddamn clue how to, not acquire it, because again, there's so much information, it's kind of hard not to acquire it, but like really educate myself properly, where it's like, it's not something dry and boring, but it's also not completely filled with memes to the point where it's like, am I actually even learning anything out of this? And that's the stock market. I have this whole thing in my own personal life and my own personal dreams and hopes where I want to live a life or I want to make enough money in my life where I could be lucky enough to retire by like 45, at most 50. The most 50. And hopefully, if you help me out by checking out the 69 Whiskey podcast, which has been my hustle for the better part of nearly a year, along with myself and some of my good friends, you can help me achieve that dream. But in the meantime, since we're not making any money off the podcast right now, I am interested in the stock market. And part of me is interested in it because the job I have right now is a very seasonal job. I work most of the year, but for the few months out of the year I don't work, it's like, God, how the fuck am I going to make an income? I figured maybe day trading or stocks or investing in stocks would be an option for me to think about. And, I've seen all this stuff where it's like, Wall Street's going to constantly fuck you, all this other stuff. I mean, obviously the GameStop AMC situation proved that clearly, where guys on Wall Street, the hedge fund guys, are gonna fuck you over. The average Joe that wants to make a little bit of money to support himself and his family. There's that stuff that like really makes me think about it. And it's like, wow, I'm like, how can I invest in something that really is made for me to lose in a way, but it's also something that I like a challenge of. I like the challenge of, taking that risk, if that makes sense. And I have dabbled in stocks before, late last year in August, late summer going into the New Year's. I had a couple of shares of Sony stock. And the Sony stock, I bought at $70-something. 5 shares I got, actually, exactly, because that was all I really could afford at the time. Bought 5 shares of that. I watched it fluctuate for the better part of the fall because I was hoping, in theory, the PlayStation 5 launch was going to boost it up to the point where I can make a couple $100 off of it. I sold the stock around New Year's because I was thinking to myself, okay, I think it's up enough. I can't imagine it going any higher at this point because it's been consistently at this point for the better part of a few weeks. I think it's okay to sell. I sold it. About a month or so later, found out that it was over 100 or getting close to that point, or if it was at $100. And I sat there and I was like, fuck, that sucks. That was a hard lesson to learn. It was a good lesson to learn, where I realized, but when I realized I could have made more money off the damn thing, I was like, oh, well, shit, that would have been nice to known. If only I had a fortune teller's intuition where I'm like, all right, this stock's gonna get up to 100. I'm not gonna sell yet. That sort of deal. I guess the other problem I have is in my own experience. I have my own experience. I have the experience that my brother has, because my brother is a little bit more avidly into it than I am. And then there's things I've tried to read online, and I say tried because the posts and articles I read are so dry and boring and a lot of information for one guy like me to take in, who's new to this. And I'm just like, God, man, it's so boring. So boring. How could they make it where it's stocks for dummies? I mean, and I have a 3.9 GPA. I graduated college with pretty high honors, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree and such. And I'm just like, God, I have accomplished all this in my life academically. Yet I just can't figure this shit out. And that's probably what's bothering me the most, which is kind of like what I was talking about earlier, where it's I enjoy a challenge. And I enjoy a challenge, but I'm like, oh shit, Where do I start? That's really the problem I have. It's a very daunting task, in my opinion. And I've read articles. Excuse me. I've read articles. I've joined like social media groups. Like for instance, what's his name? Dave Portnoy from Barstool. You know, he got into stocks like last year during the pandemic, and he started making this whole big thing out of it. Now he has a Facebook page where people post shit, and most of it's either a bunch of cryptocurrency memes where it's like people really aren't going to invest in it because it's kind of volatile, in my opinion. And I don't really think a lot of people fully understand cryptocurrency, and I don't really understand it either to see like where it's going to go in a couple of years, because I still think it's very much in its, I don't want to say infancy stages, but it's not like a well established enough for anyone to like really take it seriously. Obviously, if you got in on it early on, you're probably making a fucking killing off of it, but someone like me that it's like trying to read into all this stuff and all these big words, all these big, strategies are like, fuck, what do I do? That's really what it comes down to. It's like me overthinking the situation a lot. But going back to the Facebook posts and pages I'm on, yeah, those are just about as useless as the fucking articles. What I should do, and I probably am thinking about this just now as I make this video, I should have probably watched a video on it because, again, I have a 3.9 GPA. I've fucking aced pretty much all of my classes in school. I can read shit and understand it to the best of my ability, but at the same time, there are certain things that I just need like visual learning on, where it's like, okay, if I see like a diagram or I hear someone talk about it, it's going to make my life a lot easier instead of having to read this really dry, bland article that someone put online thinking they're like Warren Buffett or some shit. You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I really just want to turn this in a way. I want to turn this into some sort of income for myself. But there also comes the whole idea of, again, me getting into my own head. Like, when's the right time to buy? When's the right time to sell? I'm not going to lie. I have a job, like I said, but I don't have a lot of disposable income, or at least I don't think I have a lot of disposable income. Like, if I'm going to invest in something and I want it to go to the moon, as the memes say, I want it to go to the moon in the sense where it's like, I want to make thousands of dollars off it. But I don't want to invest the thousands of dollars to get to that point, because then I'm fucking poor and I can't pay my bills. I got student loans and car payments to make and shit. I can't afford to be spending thousands of dollars on this fucking stock exchange where I'm not guaranteed to make a lot of money, sort of thing. So, like I said, it's a very daunting. The two words I think of it are overthinking, where when I think about this, are overthinking and daunting. So, if there's any advice that anybody could give me when they watch this video, anything will do. Like, honestly, like, I will read anything as long as it's smart, it sounds smart, and I'm just like, you actively, like, want to kind of help people out there like me, like, I will definitely, like, listen. But if I think it's, like, bullshit, it's, like, everything I've ever seen, I probably just won't pay any attention to it, to be honest with you. Again, like, the cryptocurrency means, like, Dogecoin and SafeMoon and all the other bullshit, like, I don't take seriously. I mean, yeah, the Dogecoin memes are fucking great, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, Dogecoin hasn't even gotten above $1. How long has this shit been around? It hasn't even gotten above $1, So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Please help me the fuck out. I really want to make a lot of money. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.